Hey guys, welcome along to a brand new week of Double Tap, and coming up, an apology from me.
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Hey, Shaun Preece.
Hello. Can I just say, before we get started, long overdue apology, I think, Stephen Scott, on behalf of, well, everyone and our listeners. About time.
Well, I've got the list here. I brought the list in to the studio with me this morning. So we've got Apple Intelligence people, we've got the Android people, we have AI people,
alphabetical list.
We're only A. We're only hang on, Braille people. There's so many people I need to apologise to.
Yes.
With a capital B, absolutely. That's right. Well, it's a capital S for sorry today, you see. Do you like that? That's good. Why am I apologising, Shaun Preece? You might be wondering what my apology is all about. Well, on Friday's show, I did reference a report card, homework, if you like, for the weekend for our listeners. And then I kind of forgot to tell you all about the report card. So I'm sorry.
You forgot to do your homework, is what you're saying.
I forgot to do my job, which I'm clearly terrible at.
We got carried away with the feedback, with the amazing messages, emails and stuff. We got carried away and...
blame the listeners. I like it.
Well, no. Kind of, yes. Stop being so engaging. I think there is another apology you need to make, Stephen Scott, and that's to me directly, because I actually took the time and edited that out.
You didn't, did you?
Of the podcast, so you didn't mention the report card. So no need to apologise, but... Yeah, thanks, mate.
How does this get to air? Who sanctioned this?
I'm so sorry, Mr. F.
Dear. Okay, so I didn't even have to apologise after all that. Oh, well, never mind.
Well, I'm sure it went out on YouTube, so apologies still needed.
Apologies to the YouTube people. There we go. Yes. That's right at the end of the list. I didn't get to that far on the list. I do have YouTube people on the list right at the very bottom there. I don't know what Z would be for.
Zello? Is that still going?
It's kind of done, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
It's Discord now. Everyone's on Discord. I was talking to someone this
other day. I can't get a handle on Discord.
No, and is it accessible? It seems quite unwieldy. This is my new favourite word when it comes to inaccessibility. Unwieldy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Well, is it unwieldy, or is it just it's sort of unfamiliar to us and I don't know what I'm doing? There's a lot to navigate through, because I know blind people do use it.
Yeah, smart blind people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, not for us.
No, definitely not for us. No, we need
inaccessible to idiots.
I just literally want a button that says talk and don't talk. It's like
walk,
don't walk.
Again.
It's that. Yes, exactly. Very simple. Big button. Simple. Listen, let's talk about this, because the report card I was or not talking about on Friday was the Apple Vision Accessibility Report Card. Did I get that right?
Apple Vision. Well, I thought this was referring to the Apple Vision Pro. The Apple's virtual reality headset.
No. This is from AppleVis, right? So these are the guys over at AppleVis who are, as always, doing amazing work. Got to give a shout out to the AppleVis team, who do amazing stuff. And they have put together this Apple Vision Accessibility Report Card for us all to go and fill in. You can do this up until February 16th, so there's still time. Go do this. I haven't done it yet, but I will do it today. That is our 100% guarantee from Stephen Scott.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. I will do it. Listen, February 16th, deadline day, 16th, I'll have it done. Don't you worry about it. Nothing gets it done like a deadline around here.
How often have we said, with all these surveys when it comes to accessibility, it's all about the amount of people. If you've got a small response, then, how much importance can you put to the results, right? So it is very important. And this goes a step further anyway. This isn't just for a survey. This goes further than that, right?
It does. I mean, the whole thing here is it's looking across the Apple ecosystem, right? So all the different Apple devices, all the things you use. And you were saying to me that they're quite strict on this, that they really want to focus in on the tools that you use every day. So it's not really about rumors or bugs that you've heard someone else talk about. This is stuff that you yourself have had issues with and that you would like to let Apple know about. Maybe not necessarily even something that is, it will be current, it will be in your mind, of course, but I think also just those little irritations, those little things that bother you through the day, make sure you note all that down. All of this will go to the Apple Accessibility team. And they do listen. They really do listen. And they take the word of AppleVis and the people who contribute to the AppleVis site very seriously. I know that they're, always on the site looking, because it's the hub for them, right? It's the hub for the Apple team to be able to go and see what are the issues, what's actually bothering the community here, how can we fix things?
Yeah. No, it's a great resource for them, for Apple, and it's a great way for us to, get our thoughts across. Because how often do we say, this needs fixing, or this doesn't work great? And you know what? On the flip side of that, if something is really working well for you, then let them know that as well. There is a rating system there, 1 to 5 stars or something like that. So if you're saying this is perfect, this works so good and it's making such a difference, then let Apple know that they're doing a good job there. But equally, if something isn't working, let them know as well. And they do make a point in the post on the applevis.com website where you'll find this, that make sure it's something you've got experience. For example, we don't want Stephen Scott going on and say, Apple Intelligence is terrible, I don't like it. When you don't actually know, Stephen, if it is or not, do you?
It's terrible. I've been, what I've spent my weekend doing? Trying to turn it off. That's what I've been trying to do this weekend. Turn off Apple Intelligence. I don't want intelligence infecting my phone with its thoughts. I don't want thoughts in my phone. It's a bit like, it's funny. I kind of sense a little bit the same going on with Lady A Plus. Now, I haven't had a chance to use it because it's not available to us here in the UK. But I'm seeing people saying, best steps to get Lady A Plus. First step, don't. Second step, end of story. Move on with your life. Because, at least you'll get things working when it comes to Lady A Regular. Lady A Classic, perhaps we might want to call it. But the Plus, not so much. And I think it's the same thing here.
Well, we don't know. That's a good example. We don't know yet about Lady A Plus, so we shouldn't comment on it. Right?
Oh, same thing with this. Yeah, I see what you're doing there.
Thank you very much. Yes.
But you know me, that doesn't stop me from commenting.
No, of course, but not in the case of the Apple Vision Accessibility Report Card.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, Shaun.
But no, honestly, you should, if you get the chance, and we have got the time, so let's fill that out, because, we're always going on about how we want them to listen to us, and this is a great way to do it.
So we talked on Double Tap Mainstream, which was a great episode we put out on Sunday on the podcast feed and on AMI Audio and on YouTube as well. You can get it everywhere now. And if you haven't checked out Mainstream, it's a really great opportunity to catch up with the big tech stories of the week. And we had a wonderful guy on, the editor-in-chief of Mobile Syrup, Jonathan Lamont. He was with us through the hour. But we also got a chance to speak to a cybersecurity expert about this story that everyone on social media is talking about right now, and that is OpenClaw. Now, I saw these videos, and I talked about this on the show yesterday, but, I saw everywhere people saying on these Instagram, well, not so much Instagram, but on Facebook Reels and on those kind of TikTok videos, saying, I've just bought a Mac Mini, and I'm going to use it on my network to run this software called OpenClaw, and then I'm going to hook it into all my different services. And if I run it on this particular Mac, then it keeps everything contained and keeps it away from my main computer, and everything's great. And at first, I wasn't really sure what on earth they were talking about. I was like, right, okay, what is this thing? And that way sometimes with these, it can feel a little bit either like a fad or a scam. You're never quite sure which one it is.
Yeah.
But then reading into it and then seeing the tech press react to what was called Claude Bot, now is called OpenClaw. And the reason they've done that is because Anthropic, the company behind Claude, which is spelled CLAUDE, whereas Claude Bot was CLAWDE.
ED.
BOT. 100% right. Braille is literacy. There you go. Yes. Braille is literacy. Shout out loud and proud. But basically, they changed the name because Anthropic were a little bit concerned about the connection between the two, which, of course, if you're just listening, you would think is exactly the same product. I thought they were. Yeah, I think we all did. But they've now changed the name to OpenClaw. And really what this is, and what we explained yesterday, far better detail, was how this thing works and how essentially it can hook into all your services. And in some ways, right, if we just step back for a second and forget about OpenClaw and forget about our concerns that we have, and of which there are many, I certainly have plenty, this is kind of what we are looking for in a weird way. This is exactly what we want, something that hooks into all our services, all our system, and be able to perform actions. Like, for example, one guy, I saw a video, he was saying he connected it through his Meta glasses. I don't know how he did this, but he was able to talk to it via his Meta glasses and say, I'm looking for, let's say, a yellow kettle. I always use that example. Yellow kettle, and add it to my basket on Amazon. And the computer just went off and did it in front of him. And it selected the kettle, asked if it was the one he wanted. He said yes, and it added it to the basket. And, you think that's amazing. It can search your calendar. It can surface emails. It can, summarize your day's events coming up, but in a really good way, right? So you think by saying all that, you think, well, this is amazing.
Sign me up.
Yeah, but then the reality here is that you're essentially bringing this AI brain into your computer. Now, of course, the question around whether or not these things are sentient and how they're, what they're capable of is, I think is a pretty settled argument at the moment, right? I think it's fairly settled. It's not like that at the moment. But there was an interesting story that a friend of ours, Michael Babcock, told me at the weekend. A couple of interesting stories he told me. This one stuck out. And it was a guy who had this, I think this may have been one of the guys on the Twit podcast over there, the guys on the
Oh, is this the story of a phone call?
Yes.
Yes, they were talking about that. Yes, I don't think it was one of them directly, but yes.
This was a story where the guy had set all this up on his computer and he had given access to everything, including his credit card. And he'd given the credit card an amount of money to spend per day. Like I think it's like $5 or something that the card could be used to spend. So the maximum amount it could use. I mean, I think that's terrifying right away. But personally, I'm like, no way would I even be thinking about doing that. But okay.
I'm thinking you should do that.
Yeah, I should have that limit imposed. Absolutely. When it comes to keyboard
One
spends.
keyboard a day.
I need the AI to do the opposite for me. I need the AI to say, enough, Stephen. Just stop. Just stop. No more keyboard. But anyway, this guy, he goes to bed, and as he's going to bed, he says to his device, because you chat to it through this chat bot. I mean, you can set it up in any way you want. You could even have it set up so you're chatting to it via iMessage if you're using a Mac Mini. That's what a lot of people are doing with it. So you're just using iMessage to communicate. So it's a chat bot essentially with your life, really. And so he went to bed that night, and he asked it to surprise him in the morning. Surprise me with something that you can do in the morning. Through the night, the computer goes off by itself and it buys a phone number. It then buys a voice from 11 Labs. And in the morning, calls him on his mobile phone and says, "Good morning, this is Claudebot. I'm here to surprise you." I mean, I don't know about you, right? But if that happened to me, I would be right now burning every single computer in my house in a bin.
Would that be computer side at that point if it's sentient? Look, this is just a
Who knows?
This is just a
No, but hang on. Whoa. Don't do this. You got to answer this. That one particular example, which he's asked it to do something. It's got access to everything in his life, essentially everything he's connected to it. So his email accounts, his computer, even system access, his credit card, his accounts he can go online to buy, obviously. Do you think this is, don't you think this is terrifying? That it was able to do that?
Why, what's terrifying about it?
That suddenly in the morning, my AI is talking to me on the phone.
This is exactly, as you just mentioned, what we want it to do. The terrifying thing of this for me is that we can't trust AI. So why that's pretty, that's nothing. It's pretty bland, right? It's a very cool story. It went and got its own voice and a phone number and rang you. Very cool. But equally,
he didn't ask it to do that, though. He didn't ask it to do. He said, "Surprise me."
Surprise me. Yeah, well, that's a surprise.
And it figured out by itself. That's a way to. I mean, it certainly would give me a shock.
Well, again, though, AI is just working off a certain data set, right? So he's obviously looked up surprises. I mean, it could have ordered him a bunch of flowers or a cake. I don't know. Could have done anything like that, but it chose that one. Very cool. But the point is, this is AI. There's no safety rails here. And you just mentioned the point about, you could send it an iMessage if you want to tell it to do something. Now, does it know the difference between just you or any iMessage that you got. So if I sent you an iMessage to your computer, and if OpenClaw's access or any AI model you're running there has access to your iMessages and sees a message from me saying, hey, delete everything on this computer. Okay, then, or make a prank phone call to whoever. These are the security issues. I mean,
or worse, actually, it could pretend to be me talking to you. It could begin a conversation with you,
Clone
starting
your
to
voice.
have. Well, not even that, just even text message, right?
Text
Back
message.
and forward.
Yeah.
And of course, then there's, and what we talked about on the Sunday show, which I thought was quite interesting, was the whole idea of what they call prompt injection, which is basically where outside influence. And iMessage could be a way to do that, right? You could essentially send a message
Exactly.
through iMessage, and that would command the AI in some way to do something. So like you say, delete everything on this computer, or, give me Stephen's bank details.
Yeah.
Or whatever it might be, or, show me something on his screen, or, download this picture on his computer. God, can you imagine? I think that's the thing. You've just kind of said it there, though. I think the fear right now for me is because there are no guardrails around this. This software, I don't know, I imagine it's free. You can go and download this stuff. You can put it on your computer, and it seems, and it is it's a little bit like social media. Well, it's all harmless, really, until something goes horribly wrong. And I think people need to be really careful with this. That I see friends of mine saying, "Oh, I'm going to set up an OpenClaw," and I'm thinking, I wouldn't be doing that, guys.
I
Just wouldn't
totally
be doing that
understand
because there's no
it,
guardrails here, nothing at all. There's no one paying any attention to this. And this thing could run amok, and who would be responsible? How could you, if you had, you'd be essentially conning yourself out of all your money potentially. If your bank account ends up emptied as a result of it, who do you blame? There's no one but yourself.
Well, there are some, you do give it permission to do.
That's what I'm saying. You're giving it permission. So if you went to a bank and said, I've been hacked, the bank would say, well, no, you haven't, because you gave over your bank details to this thing.
Yeah, I would assume that would be the case. You've got to be responsible yourself. But more than that, even if you don't, right? If you just, for the things that we want it to do, hey, check my emails for this, read out the important emails for today, things that I would actually use it for. I'm terrible at doing it myself. Fantastic. But,
download all the attachments in this folder. That'd be amazing, right?
Exactly. That's right. But I've got to give it access, permission to access all that stuff. Because of the way AI is currently, there's nothing to say, that it could send out terrible emails to everyone in my address book, right?
Yeah.
And it's that sort of thing. I just do not trust AI because there's just no guardrails on it. And
is that worse than sentient thinking, though? I mean, the thing we all kind of, I guess, fear in some ways with AI is that, we'll be able to think for itself. Okay, it's not thinking for itself right now.
It's not thinking for itself,
no,
and
it's
that's
not.
the problem.
It's not, but it is able to do things on your behalf because you're obviously giving it the access to do it, right? But you're letting it run free. So is that worse in some ways? No, look, it's nothing. It's never going to become sentient. I think it's going to always. Right now, there's times where it can imitate, a consciousness to some degree, and it's very impressive. But likewise, I think it's because of the state it's at now that is the danger, because it just doesn't know you shouldn't do that. And I don't know how you stop that. I mean, the whole thing we had recently with Grok and the inappropriate image generations, right? Yeah.
I kind of think, how could that possibly happen? How is that not hardwired into the AI by the developers not to do that? But there's ways around it. You can talk AI around because it's constantly training itself, right, and learning. So you can, if you phrase a question in a different way, then you may be able to get it to do something that it shouldn't do. And I don't like that. And that is always going to be a risk. We need to rein it in a bit. And I don't know what the line is there between making it, hyper intelligent and able to do everything, but also giving it guidelines. You cannot do this. I don't know why that's so difficult to do, actually, but it should be there.
There's one aspect of this which I think, we kind of tend to bypass because we talk about, for example, bank accounts. There's going to be a real challenge now for banks to know what transactions are real and what are being enacted by an AI. And that's going to be another challenge, because how on earth would a bank be able to identify that? You know, if, for example, if you're buying with your credit card on your computer, whether it's you doing it or whether it's an agent doing it on your behalf, you know, that transaction is being done on your system. So if someone was to come back later, even if one of these, what do they call them, the financial forensic teams come in and looked at your computer and said, well, you know, who did this? It would be, well, you did it because it's on your computer. You clicked the mouse, you did the thing. It's like, no, I didn't do it. The computer did it. Yeah, but you were here. You did it. It's your machine that did it.
It's simpler than that. You've given an agent permission. It's the same if I give my card to someone and say, yeah, do what you like with it. I've got no comeback if, you know, I suddenly go to the bank and say, oh, my money's gone. Well, yeah, but you gave permission. It's the same thing with AI. You give it permission.
But I just wonder if there's a way that the banks need to think about this in a way that if it can identify.
No, it's on us.
No, I know that.
Responsibility.
I know that. But I guess what I'm talking about here is these guardrails. If you give, for example, give you an example of this. So if your child gets hold of your credit card and goes on and plays a game on his or her, you know, phone or whatever.
Yes.
And remember, there was a whole story for a long time of children who were, you know, that would come up on the game and it would say, buy more tokens or whatever it was to play the game. And suddenly the kids were just saying, okay, fine, have more tokens, please. Yep, fine. And suddenly racking up thousands and thousands of dollars on a credit card. And then the parent gets the bill through. And what the hell's happened here? You know, they're not responsible for that transaction, or are they? Because the child made the transaction, not them, but it was their card, which they gave access to. And in some cases, banks did refund. So I think it comes down to, the banks need to be able to identify who or what is making the transaction. I think if you can get to that stage of it, and it should be able to do that, right? Because the computer is intelligent enough to know, for example, as we know, because we told the story once of an insurance company that was able to detect which screen reader someone was using, and if it used it in a way against them so they could jack up the price of the insurance. Yeah. For what purpose, I don't quite understand, but okay, fine. Well, not fine,
I drop
but,
a lot of things.
Yeah, that's right.
I just do.
Going to break things more, so charge them more. So, you know, in that instance, they were able to identify in the browser something. I'm just thinking if the AI agent was identified in the browser as being the one in control, then at least there would be some kind of ability to give us some security in the knowledge that the bank knows who is making the transaction. Do you know what I mean?
What difference does it make?
Well, it makes a huge difference, because if the AI decides to go off and, you know, empty a bank account, at least then you know, there'll be a trail of communication between you and the bot. And if there's no trail that says, well, I didn't ask the bot to go and do this, then at least there's a claim. This is going to be the new thing, right? This is going to be a whole new era of security with banks, insurance claims, fraud claims, all that stuff. And the way that right now we're having the conversations around, you know, what's responsible when a driverless car drives down the street and hits someone?
Yes.
Are you responsible in the car? I mean, you could by your argument there, you would say, well, I'm responsible because I'm sitting in the car, but I have no control of what that car's doing. Yes, I have told the car to go to this location, but in the process, is it though? Is it though?
Because those safety things should be there. In the case of this,
But something happened on the way that I didn't ask it to do. I didn't ask it to mount the pavement and kill someone.
Yes.
But it did.
But it did.
So who's responsible? And this is the question. This is the stuff that we need to get into. It's a whole new conversation we're going to have around responsibility and insurance.
I worry
especially
about
when it comes to buying these cars.
I worry about the scam calls. You think right now they're always trying to get you to, you know, remote access, right? Permit remote access. Well, if you do that now and you've got an AI assistant in there, they could simply prompt it to, you know, wait until 2 a.m. in the night and then just send me whatever amount of money, right? I mean,
that's right, yeah.
It is going to be a big deal. But I think we're jumping ahead a bit. Yeah?
I remember the days we used to put chewing gum over our webcams in case someone could see into our house. Goodness me. Now I'm turning off the electrical grid in my room because I'm thinking, no way, I don't want anyone near. I don't want my computer turned on.
So you're not going to use it then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't want to come across like a doomer. I mean, I am coming across like a doomer when it comes to this stuff.
A doomer boomer.
A doomer boomer. But I just can't. This just doesn't sit well with me at all right now. It's too early.
Yes, it is.
So I think if people are testing it, go for it if you want, but you're taking your life in your hands at the moment, I think. I really would not advise it. I was talking to my wife and I was telling her about it. She says, you're not going to install it, are you? I said, absolutely not. I would not have it. Even if it was on its own network, on its own machine, I wouldn't trust it. I just wouldn't trust it at this point. As wonderful as I think it sounds, I'd rather it was an Apple or a Google or Apple or Google really at the moment, who would come up with this, or Microsoft potentially, but I think it's more likely Google that's going to win this race this year.
It's the trouble is, right? I remember when Copilot first came in and you could do things like change the theme, high contrast theme, and that was kind of it, and you couldn't do anything else.
That's right. I mean,
that's what we want it to do.
Not talkback, what's it called?
Narrator. We want it to control. That's the whole point of a voice assistant, and it's just not happened. And maybe these are the concerns, are the reason why it hasn't happened, because of, wow, you give it total control, it could do anything, and they don't trust it themselves. But
I'll give you a positive example of this, which is Inner Search, because that's kind of what Inner Search does to an extent, but it's very closed in. It's a closed system,
sandboxed,
right? Yeah, because you're only able to do it on the website. So you go in and you use the co-browse function, basically having a chat. So it's just a chat bot you're having a conversation with, and you're saying, hey, I'm looking for this particular product, and it goes through, it gives you options. And once you choose it, it can just go off and buy it. I was kind of amazed at how quickly it just bought the thing. It was like bought, paid for. My card, my credit card had given me a notification saying, that's it. It's been paid for.
And you were surprised by that, right?
I wasn't even expecting. I was trying to find the add to basket button, and it had completed the transaction.
Isn't that just the same then?
Well, it was a bit scary at the time. I won't lie. At first, I thought, whoa, that was quick. That happened a lot quicker than I was expecting.
But you expect okay, it's in your basket. Do you want to purchase? Do you want me to check this out? Do you want to pay now?
I can't remember the exact process, but I think it felt like I was hitting add to basket rather than checkout. And even if you hit checkout, you're still expecting to go through a process. I didn't expect it to just say, oh, well, we've got your card details here, which we do, and, because you already put them in, so that's fine, and we'll just use that to pay for it, and it's on the way to you. I was half expecting, by the time I had found the exit button of that website, the guy was knocking at the door saying, here it is. It was so quick.
It's kind of great.
It was brilliant, and it was okay in that sandbox. And I think if you've got guardrails around it, it's fine. As long as you know what you're doing, as long as you trust it, and as long as you, and a service like that, I do. There's a team of human beings behind it that I can contact if something goes wrong. So, and they're extremely responsive, all that stuff. So that's good. But I just, this OpenClaw thing, it utterly terrifies me. It really does. I like I say, I love the concept of it. I do, because I love the idea. And the real irritant for me, as someone who loves to dive into this kind of stuff, is that it seems really functional. Like it really does do the thing right. It will do things properly because ultimately it has access to things. What I don't understand, and I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we'll get an answer to this, but what I don't understand is why this isn't what Apple Intelligence is. Because to me, this is exactly what Apple Intelligence could be. Because it's the same thing, right? Ultimately, it has access to everything on the phone. It could surface my emails, give me all the information I need. It could, take actions on my behalf because you're inside that Apple ecosystem on the phone. The phone has got the power in it to do that, as does the computer. Why? Yeah. Why is that not what Apple Intelligence is? And I trust that.
It will be. Stop waiting. Just give it some time, Stephen Scott. You're so impatient.
New city's coming in 2 weeks.
Well, the beta apparently is rumored to be coming at the end of February, and then March we should see in 26.4, I believe, the new Gemini-powered Siri with all those abilities you just mentioned. Oh, hang on.
It's going to be absolutely...
What are you talking about? It's going to be amazing. This is what we've been waiting for. That thing that was demoed at WWDC, the things that weren't at all, made up and not real. But
which ones were real? Which ones weren't? I can't work out anymore.
The ability to go through your emails and calendars and notes and all the data you have on your iPhone through Siri. The ability, which is really exciting if it turns out to be true, the ability to take action inside of apps using Siri. So I'm hoping something like press this button, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's rumored to be coming up in iOS update 26.4, which again, rumored to be officially launched in March. I can't wait. I hope so.
And listen, we don't normally do the Apple rumor stuff here because, it's always the same. And I guarantee as soon as we talk about it, something will happen. There'll be a news drop and then the show goes out and it's too late. But there is a rumor of an iPhone 17e. Imminent is the word I see a lot used right now. I love this word because basically no one knows. So imminent is the word that's being used to tout this. I kind of forgot about the 16e. I kind of just thought it was going to be around for a couple of years and then we'd get an 18e or something. I didn't think we'd move to a 17, but apparently we are.
It is surprising. I thought the same thing. Usually you give it a 2-year or 3-year gap between these, but the rumors are keep coming. So imminent release of the 17e, which uses the A19 CPU, so the same as the 17, has MagSafe, which is a nice addition, and should be the same price as well. So we're going to get the up-to-date chipset, if the rumors are true, with the new modem chip in it and things like that. So the latest chipset with MagSafe and all for, $599? The same price as the current 16e.
Yeah. So this is a strange one, and I don't know how to feel about this because there's a lot of rumors flying around. Again, rumors. We don't know until it happens. Or not in this case, but there's talk of there not being an iPhone 18 this year. Or if there is, it's going to be a staggered launch. They're going to launch the 18 and then they'll launch the 18 Pro Max later in the year. Again, it's all rumor, but there was a talk of them actually skipping the 18, that entry level, if you like. And if they are adding all that functionality to the 17e, that would make sense to me. That would make sense. Although, isn't that a backward step going to the 17e from the 18? I mean, if you were going to the 18, I suppose. If there isn't one, I can understand why it's an option. But I don't know, because I'm looking at the 17e and I'm looking at the 18 and thinking, well, what's the difference really? Camera, maybe? A camera improvement,
Yeah, we just don't know, do we?
Dual cameras,
that's the trouble with rumors. I mean, I would guess, if they're talking about a staggered release or maybe even skipping one, I'm guessing like so many other manufacturers out there, we're talking components, right? The price of memory has soared.
Yes.
And, AI is buying, all the AI server farms are buying up all the memory and SSDs. I would assume there's some sort of component issues. As we mentioned on Sunday's show, the Steam Deck or Steam Control Game Center from Valve has been pushed back, postponed because of lack of components. I think it's impacting a lot of companies now. But Apple? Apple are huge. They should have enough stock.
Well, they can soak up some of that cost. I think those costs may go into the higher end devices. I think if you're buying something like a 17e, the talk, as they say, is that the price will remain the same. I don't imagine this is going to involve a big event. There's talk of an event coming up in March, but I think that might be focused on Siri. I don't think they're going to hold off on the 17e for that. I think you might find that appears sooner rather than later, at least going by the rumours. Although in fairness, we did hear about a HomePod Mini 2 and we've yet to see that emerge. That's never really happened. Apple TV was meant to get an update. Haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I need an Apple TV. It's time. How long has it been since the new Apple TV?
I wish they just bring out a decent remote control for it. Honestly, I can't stand that remote control they have. It's so finicky. I have endless issues with it. You've got big hands like shovels. Stephen Big
Scott.
shaking hands. Shaking Stevens, that's me. And it's terrible. If you live in the UK, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you live outside the UK, you will have no idea what on earth I'm talking about. Unless you happen to visit the UK in the 80s.
Oh, dear.
That's the 1980s, by the way, just in case anyone's wanting to get
fun.
Can I just say, by the way, this trend that's going around on the internet, by the way, have you seen this? People asking which year they were born. Have you seen this?
No.
So the first person, what year were you born? They say, 2003. And then they ask the next person, what year were you born? 2010. And then they go to this next person. They say, what year were you born? And he says, 19. And then it cuts them off. And then there's a scene from Jurassic Park plays out on screen.
So,
da 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 da.
Implying he's a dinosaur?
Exactly. What? Because we were born in the 1900s. How dare you, chillin'?
It's kind of true.
Disgusting.
Though. If ever back in the day you heard someone was born in 18 something, you would think that was 100 years ago.
But hang on a minute. Whoa, hang on. I don't know how old you are, but I don't remember ever being around people who were born in the 1800s when I was growing up.
In that changeover, in a century switch over, then it does make you sound incredibly old. Now we're in 2000s. God, 2026. Wow.
It doesn't feel.
I was born in the 1900s.
Yeah. It does sound a bit old, actually.
1973.
When you say it like that, yeah, it does sound a bit old, actually. Yeah, now you say it like that, yeah. No, but
Right.
I find that hilarious.
Well, we are dinosaurs, Stephen Scott. Get over it.
Right. Fair enough.
Extinct.
Okay. There was something else I was going to talk about. I have no idea what it was, but I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, yeah,
when the
if not,
show's
I'll cut
over.
it out.
Exactly. Well, you can cut that bit out of the show again, and then no one will ever know I said it. There you go. Perfect.
Apology
Let's
coming
get some
tomorrow.
emails on.
Oh, yeah.
We get email. We get your email every day.
Ding dong.
Every day.
Mail today.
Douche.
Oh, that was nice.
Did you like that one?
I did.
Trying it
That
out.
was nice. Yeah.
Thanks.
Cozy feeling on today's program. Isn't there a nice relaxed
nice.
feeling?
Grab your
AI
tea.
is terrible. Stay in your homes. don't install on your computer. Ooh,
I've just signed up for Gemini AI Plus. I'll have you know.
Whoa. You've spent money?
I have, sir. I have. 2 months at £3 something, or half price for 2 months anyway. I thought
Right,
I'm going to try
that.
that.
Makes sense. Right, okay.
Yeah, as someone who always, saying how AI isn't ready yet, I'm just saying, I'm being honest and open. I did sign up for Gemini. I do like Gemini. I ask it a lot of questions. It's cool.
Why are you being open and honest about it? What do we have to
Well,
admit
because I'm
this to
always
people
here
now?
saying, what's the point? What's the point of AI? You just can't. It hallucinates. It gives you rubbish all
you're
the
really
time.
negative about it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not being negative. What I'm doing is setting expectations. Okay, it cannot.
Setting expectations. Everything is terrible.
Everything is terrible.
That's where we start from.
If
It's a
you've got
pretty
a
low
topic,
bar, isn't it?
if you've got a topic you want to know about, right, and you can ask AI, it's so good to have that conversation with it, and you can say, "I don't understand that. Can you put it in simpler terms for me?" It's something I say a lot, and it's really good at stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Anyway,
No, I'm the
sorry.
same. I love it for that. I love that you can ask it things about, you can, sometimes you watch TV. I love The West Wing. It's one of my favorite shows. Half the time I have no idea what they're talking about. So they'll talk about this politics and stuff and, this and that.
Yeah.
And I just hold up to the phone up to the TV and I'm like, what are they talking about? And usually it tries to summarize it as best it can, as much as it can understand what I'm asking it to do.
It must be great watching anything with you. I mean, absolutely a nightmare. What are they talking about? What's happening now? It's like
What's
watching it with
this?
Sarah.
Yeah.
What's happening? Who's that? I don't know.
What was she in? I have to say, it is such a nice thing nowadays, and it happens so rarely when I watch a movie and I think, I know who that actor or actress is. Honestly, most of the time, not have a clue.
Good. That's good to know.
Did
Well
you stay
done.
up for the Super Bowl, by the way?
Yes, I did. I loved
The
it.
Seattle
Yay.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks won by a...
Was it the Seahawks? Did I get that right?
Yeah, no, you did. Yeah, Seahawks
there you
won by how many points, Stephen?
Oh, many.
Many points. It was
Many
a fantastic
points.
game.
Unless, of course, it was incredibly close. In which case, then, wow, what a nail biter that was.
Or the Patriots won. I actually don't
Oh, the
know.
Patriots won, yeah. I mean, do you know what's worse about this? We're actually doing the show on the morning after. We're not recording this in advance. We could actually look this up.
Yeah, it's
We
not.
just choose not to. You've paid for Gemini AI Plus. You could have asked the question.
Well, I can tell you, Man United beat Tottenham Hotspur by, was it 3-0 or 2-0 on Saturday? I can tell you that. That was
Great.
interesting.
Oh, there you go. I'm very interested in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely not. Right, let's get on to some emails. Kevin's up first.
Hi. For accessible one-button operation coffee machines, take a look at the Nespresso Virtuo line. The POP has a small footprint for a kitchen worktop and is single-press operation with a wide range of coffee options in barcoded aluminium pods. There is a companion app to provide access to rinse and descale the machine as well as ordering coffee, but it's not really necessary as everything can be done from the machine. Only the Virtuo range uses barcoded pods, so it's important to pick from this range, as other Nespresso machines will have touchscreens. Tassimo machines are also one-touch operation, which again use pods. The machines and coffee are generally cheaper, and the machine has the advantage of being able to do hot chocolate, teas and coffees, whereas the Nespresso are purely coffee machines. I have the Nespresso Virtuo Pop, and it's a very nice machine. I prefer the Nespresso coffee. I've owned Tassimo coffee machines previously. The Bosch, Neff and Siemens smart kitchen appliances are very accessible using the companion Home Connect app. You can download the app and set up dummy appliances so you can fully get to grips with the app before purchasing the appliance. There are some nuances where some appliances have to be set to use remote start by using the touchscreen, but this is a one-off activity with some of the appliances, and those that need to have it, the remote start activated each use, have the button on the touchscreen in the bottom right corner of the display, so it's very easy for a totally blind person to use. We have Bosch washing machine, tumble dryer, oven, induction hob, and fridge, which are all smart enabled and operated from the Home Connect app. We also have a Neff dishwasher, which can also be used from the Home Connect app, but is actually completely accessible via the physical buttons on the door. Regards, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. Always good to know what's out there, what's accessible in the appliance department. Seems to be more than I thought there was.
Neff. What was the other one? Bosch, Neff, and Siemens. I
didn't know Siemens did that. I've never seen a Siemens machine that I know of.
Aren't
I know
they
they make trade-ins, don't they?
Aren't they posh makes? I mean, where's
years ago,
the budget range?
Remember was it Fujitsu Siemens? That was a computer you could buy.
Yeah, that's right.
At one time.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's very cool. You know what is so important is the ability, as he mentioned there, to set up the dummy appliance so you can actually test out the app. I can't tell you how many times, it was a few years ago now, when I was looking for an accessible washing machine, and I think it was Candy or something like that, obviously the cheaper end of the market for me. I was looking at those, and there's a companion app. Well, you know what? Let me download it and see if it's accessible. You download it, and the first thing it says is, scanning for appliance or whatever. And until it finds something, you can't test it out, and it's utter nonsense. So I do like that, where you can test out with a dummy appliance. That's so cool.
I have never in my life experienced one of these appliances that have the app. Every single thing we've bought, and obviously not for a long time, we've bought something. I mean, the dishwasher we have is the one we got, came bundled with the house. It's kind of already attached, so we kept it.
Right.
The washing machine's just a washing machine.
Do you actually use any of your appliances?
Listen, I wash in the washing. I use the washing machine now.
What did you use before? The canal? What are you talking about? Down by the river?
No, because I never used it. I had no idea what to do with it. But my wife, she taught me how to use it. Sexist. She said, right, it's time for you to know these things, Stephen. I think she's leaving me. I think she's decided she's had enough. And she's preparing me for that day. So
I don't know how to feel about that. Preparing for a divorce. Make sure he's going to be able to survive.
Very kind of her to prepare me in advance for these things. I think one day if she decides to go, she knows at least I'll be all right. At least I can wash my
smalls. It's very nice.
Or larges.
There are. I mean, we talked about this before. With Mickey B, I believe, wasn't it? He found out his washing machine had talkback built in. I mean,
yes,
utterly amazing, completely by accident. But yeah, we are seeing more work when it comes to accessibility in home appliances. And I would say it's about time, to be honest. The kitchen and the laundry area have been lagging behind for the longest time. I think there's still a lot of work to be done on things like, countertop appliances, like the air fryers. There's not really a lot of choice when it comes to accessible options.
There's a talking one you can get.
Yeah, there's a talking one. How many talking ones are there? I mean, you got the other ones which are controlled by smart apps, depending on what area of the globe you're on. The Kusari, is it?
Yeah,
You can use that with your smart speaker if you're, outside of the UK. You can't use it in the UK with your smart speaker, but you can use an app with it. But either way, again, it's just limited options. I think there's still a long way to go when it comes to accessibility in home appliances.
Yeah,
do
because
better.
Allowing us access to, control our microwave via our Lady A would be the beginning of the downward spiral.
Of what? Towards what?
I don't know. This is the UK government's view, I believe, because they never let us do anything. It's all their fault. Nanny state.
The argument is safety, right? You don't want if you could accidentally
what's unsafe? What's unsafe about having my microwave turn itself on for 2 minutes?
Well, there's possible heat could be generated. If you could turn your oven on by accidentally, your smart speaker accidentally hearing something you didn't say, and suddenly your oven's on at 400 degrees, there could be an issue there. The same with the remote start option on the washing machine and things like that, is to make sure, nobody or no thing is in the washing machine itself before you turn it on.
I see, this is a problem when you have kids, and I guess it's very small dogs, I suppose. It's not really an issue for me. I have big dogs. I can never get in the washing machine. That's fine. I don't have children, so I don't have to care about that. So I want exemption from this.
Well, blame the What's the litigious society, Stephen Scott? It's their fault.
Right, here's Stephanie.
Hello, Shaun. I have a Neff smart oven, and you can turn it on by saying, Alexa, tell my oven to heat to 180 for 20 minutes.
Stop,
It's an
don't do
easy
that.
oven to work, as long as the left-hand control is set once to the left, so that it points at Wi-Fi. You can control the oven using the Home Connect app or Alexa. Alexa is a little bit limited in its voice commands, but if you're busy and your hands are full, it's a cool trick. I also have a SmartThings controlled Samsung washer and an Instant Pot Pro plus pressure cooker. The main advantage of all these app-controlled devices is that you can set them from outside the home, delay the start time, and get notifications if someone else has set them. While a lot of the time I admit I don't use the smart functions, on the oven or washing machine, they do give me the opportunity to use the other settings. For example, I needed to wash a duvet the other day, so I used the app Laundry Planner. You tell it what you're washing and it picks the best settings. The Instant Pot and oven both have recipe functions. You follow the recipe in the app, then click a button and it sends all the right settings to the pot or oven. The only tricky thing about the oven is when I first got it, I realised that it would keep resetting the child lock, so that the app and Alexa couldn't talk to the oven unless you turned it off in the app. But with a little bit of sighted assistance, you can go through the settings on the oven and permanently disable the child lock. My washing machine also has an add door, and you have to turn the Wi-Fi button off before you can open the add door mid-cycle. But this extra step is well worth it because I'm sure you've all experienced walking away from the washing machine that you've just turned on only to realise you've left a trail of socks on the floor. With the door, you can stop at mid-cycle and shove stuff in. All these devices need a couple of bump-ons to make them fully accessible, but despite these minor inconveniences, the smart functions means you can access all the functions of the devices like other people. I love my kitchen tech, and if you're the only adult in the house, like I am, they're invaluable. Happy New Year to you both. Stephanie from Stevenage.
Thanks, Stephanie. Appreciate that. And yeah, that's a great point. Kind of like me in that sense. You know, with my wife and I, we're the only ones here, so we don't need the child lock on. Although I did kind of laugh at the beginning of that message when you proudly pronounced turn on your Nest smart oven or whatever it was. And
I may have to beep that out post-recording. I don't want to turn everyone's ovens on.
I think that's hilarious. I think we should see what happens. Well, if they all get their child lock on by default, it shouldn't come on then, right?
That was very cool, though. And it's a great example of just giving us more options. I would argue, with the air fryer I've got, obviously, it's a more budget-friendly one. But the point is,
it's just a big plastic box with two knobs in it, isn't it? That's the one you've got. Yeah, the candle, that's right.
It's two dials, right? It's one for temperature, one for a timer. And I kind of think, even if I could get a smart one, would I actually want it? But the point that Stephanie made there about being able to access the additional features, it's a bit like a talking microwave. With my microwave, I just always use the quick start, high power for 1 minute and keep pressing it for however long I need, right? But there's so many other options that I might use if they were accessible. And I think that's the key point. Some of these smart appliances give you access to that, such as the duvet setting on the washing machine. Still
That's
cool.
right. I mean, there's a lot of settings on these devices that we would never use. We'd maybe use the traditional or the standard wash cycle.
We use whatever we can use.
Well, that's right. And I sit with Ira or sometimes be my eyes, but usually Ira. And, I'll just contact them and just double check that it's... Because the problem with the Samsung one we have is the knob in the middle. As you turn it, you hear the audible bing, 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 bing as it turns. Yeah. But you've no indication of what it's actually selecting because a light's coming on to identify. It's not an actual turn. So, there's no guarantee that the setting when you turn it back on is going to be defaulted back to something. So, you really do need a pair of eyes on it to test that or to check that. So I do that and then I get it going and then I go bing, bing, bing. And then I press the other bing and then it goes doodaloo and then off it goes. It's great. I love it.
It's like police academy in here. It's beautiful. It's like I was in your kitchen for a second.
And then it does that thing at the end, the little sing song that we all get. Dee, 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 dee. I think it does at the end of it.
I know. Have you made up
hilarious.
a song to the tune? I have. I can't sing it because it's...
I think a few people have made some dance mixes of it, which I think is fantastic. I think these people on TikTok are very clever. Far too much time on their hands, I'll admit. But in fairness, so do I because I'm sitting watching it. Right, let's go to Ken, who wants to talk about washing machines as well.
I recently sent the Double Tap hosts a message indicating cheaper washing machines might not be such a bad idea. I included comments from an expert suggesting that people only really need to worry about 2 settings, express cycle and warm temperature. I just finished listening to a recorded version of the Consumer Reports November 2025 magazine issue. It included an article by their appliance testing expert who recommended that people mostly use normal cycle and cold temperature setting for washing machines. I am guessing the express and normal are essentially the same setting, and the name varies based on the manufacturer. The different water temperature recommendations are the result of each expert using and recommending different types of laundry soaps and/or detergents that have different water temperature requirements. You probably really do not need the newer washing machines with their many, many cycle and temperature settings. Best regards, Ken in Sacramento, California.
So Ken says we don't need it. We don't need all that fancy stuff. We're fine as we are. Just keep it simple.
I'm kind of with him. I mean, is there I only know 2 settings, right? Normal, which is usually E, or boil wash, when you've spilt your, I don't know, whatever, hot chocolate.
So you use that one quite a lot, do you?
Covered in mud or whatever it may be, for filth, basically. You need to boil everything.
F setting for filth.
E or F, that's all you need. I tend to agree with you, Ken, to be honest. I will, as I mentioned with the microwave, I just use the sort of whatever the default is. But I don't know. I'm not an expert into laundry care. Maybe there is a reason.
Time for one more email before we go. Slightly off this topic, but an interesting point nonetheless, following up on one of our earlier emails that we got.
Hi, Double Tap. In response to Nicole's query about whether Audible is a library or a bookstore, I would say it can be both. Audible does offer a return feature where you can go to the Audible website, access your account, and view your purchase history. In this list, you can select to return titles and get a credit returned so that you can use it to purchase a different book. There may be limitations on how often you can do this, but it's certainly an option they make available. All the best, David in Exeter.
Thanks, David. It's a tricky one, this one, because I wouldn't see, this is following Nicole's comments about, or asking the question, I guess, is Audible like a lending library? You know, can you buy a book or rent a book, essentially?
Is it a shop
give it
or
back?
a library?
Yeah. And I would say it's a shop with a return policy, yes. But I don't know if you'd want to return every single thing you bought from that shop. You may be not asked to return to that shop at some point.
Yes.
Because they wouldn't exactly see you as a customer, more of a lender. Never a borrower nor lender, B.
All right, Granny Stephen. Don't know. It's definitely a shop.
Unless you're a library, of course, in which case you need to be both. It's okay. Never do any of those things unless you're a library.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything else that would... Yeah. No, that's it. Just a library.
Is that it? Finished? Good. Okay. Yeah, no, it's definitely a shop. You're absolutely right. You can return your books in Audible. They're actually quite flexible with that. But, it isn't the main thing to do. It's more of a courtesy. And as Stephen said, if you continually bought a book and then returned it and swapped it out, I don't think they'd be happy.
No, I don't think so. Listen, that's almost it from us. Thank you for all your emails today. Thank you for getting in touch. Keep in touch. We will, of course, get to more of your emails through the week. Just a little program note for you. Coming up next week, I will be at Zero Project Conference. It's taking place in Vienna. You'll have heard me talk about this conference before. We've done the show from there many times. I'll be going along this year more as a spectator. Rather than doing my shows. Although that's how it started off. Initially, I was thinking, I'm just going to go along, enjoy the conference, not worry about doing the shows. I might, see if someone can sit in with Shaun during the week and I'll just focus on the conference.
I need babysitting.
Well, then I was thinking, actually, you know what? We could just do the show from there. So, yeah, I might just do the show from Vienna because that's more fun. So
yes.
we'll maybe just do that. And, I'm a control freak. I like to be here with you. And
yes.
I miss you.
You can't miss a show, Stephen Scott. The world would stop turning. This is going to be great. Live from Vienna. Well, not live, possibly.
You've been there. It was great, wasn't it? It's a great conference.
I noticed I'm not here this time.
I said, I was only going to spectator, and that's how I got around that one.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
I meant to drag you along.
Literally drag me along.
Literally drag you along. Hurry
It's going to be fun.
It's usually what I shout behind me as we're walking along, as he's fixing his bag for the 800th time.
All right, leave it.
PTSD by the end of that
What is
episode.
the Zero Project?
It's a fantastic event, which you'll find out more about next week. Bringing people from all around the world together, award winners of a fantastic prize, really. And part of the prize is to further the work that those individuals do, and we'll hear about all the stories. But also, it gives them a chance to network and share their ideas with other people, which is the most powerful part of this whole thing. All the winners are brought to Vienna to talk to each other. It's kind of part of the prize, but it's kind of a request of the foundation as well to say, right, do you know what? Come together, share these ideas. So, we always talk about great pockets of innovation, right? Great things happening over here, and this country's doing this, and this country's doing that. Or there's an individual figured this out over here. But the problem is, it's fine if it's a great idea and it's wonderful in that one area, but it needs to expand beyond that. And so the Zero Project aims to try and do that, tries to, make people more aware of the work individuals are doing out there. It's a wonderful
around
conference.
the world. That's key.
Yeah. Everywhere from around the world, yeah. So we're going to be getting a chance to catch up with some great people there. Some great friends we've made along the way. So I'll be talking to a few of them. We'll definitely get some interviews out of it. But and you know what? We'll get together every day and we'll talk about that. So Zero Project Conference coverage coming up on Double Tap. And
beautiful.
At the weekend, I believe Marco Flalo is going to join you on Mainstream this week.
That's right. All the latest in tech of the week. I can't wait. I love Mark.
Good
he
job.
Doesn't shout at me.
You're stuck with him next week. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.